Harambee! Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our channel once again. What is Uru Kenyatta's game plan with Azimio Coalition Party? That is the question which most Kenyans are currently asking. Because in early February, Uru Kenyatta made changes to the leadership of the Azimio Coalition Party. Uru Kenyatta appointed Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka to replace Raila Odinga as the new party leader. At the same time, Uru Kenyatta also appointed Raila Odinga to replace Raphael Tuju as the Secretary General of the party. And Kenyans thought that was the end of the story. Yesterday, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, in his capacity as the Azimio Coalition leader, removed Junet Mohamed as the minority leader at the National Assembly. Let me just read for you the statement which Kalonzo Musyoka issued, because it's going to form the basis of this analysis. Let me just get this statement. This is the statement. I'll read it verbatim before I analyze it. The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party today held a joint meeting of the Coalition's Council and the National Coordination Executive Council and resolved that the following persons have, by virtue of their appointment to public office and or having joined competing political coalition, ceased to be members of the Azimio Coalition Council and the Azimio National Coordination Executive Council. And it's listing them. The members of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Council is listing Hassan Joho, Sabina Chege, Abdi Nur Omar, Farah, and Junet Mohamed. So he has removed those as members of that high organ of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition. And also there is the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya National Coalition Executive Council. This is where we have people like Oparanya, who was the chair, Allen Kenan, David Kosing, several other guys there. They've also been removed. And is proceeding here, the Azimio Coalition Party will presently announce their replacement as part of the expanded coalition party. The meeting further resolved to terminate with immediate effect the appointment of Junet Mohamed as the leader of the Azimio Coalition parliamentary group and in the National Assembly, and appointed Raila Odinga to be the leader of the Azimio Coalition Party parliamentary group and the National Assembly with immediate effect. Ladies and gentlemen, that move by Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is significant politically speaking, and I want to talk about it. Because let us face the reality. The reality is ODM as a political party is the majority party in Azimio. And the other truth is that Azimio as a coalition was registered as a political party. But remember, immediately after the last election, what happened? Azimio was declared the majority party in the National Assembly. But William Ruto went and poached a few members from within the coalition. I think there was David Ochieng's party, MDG. I think there was the Maendeleo Chap. Not Maendeleo Chap. Maendeleo Chap was part of William Ruto's coalition. Which other coalition? There was that one from Northern Kenya. And then it tilted the equation now in favor of Kenya Kwanza. So Azimio never had their way. Do you think, under the current circumstance, Kalonzo Musyoka will have his way in parliament? For me, if you have to ask me, I doubt. But let me ask a few questions. Is Kalonzo Musyoka officially or legally recognized as the Azimio leader? Because we all know that Uru Kenyatta made these changes, but ODM objected. And the question has always been, was the decision made by proper coalition organs? Was it gazetted? Because if changes were made in February, were they gazetted? Because if they were not gazetted, then I personally doubt if Kalonzo Musyoka is currently recognized as the coalition leader. So let us wait and see how this is going to pan out, which brings me to another question. Oh, and this is very important. How will the ODM exit from Azimio affect the coalition? Because let us face the reality. ODM party last week formally wrote to exit Azimio. According to the constitution, 90 days, that process should be over. And for me, and this is why I think Kalonzo Musyoka has made the biggest political mistake, within 90 days, ODM will pull out. And then I think now the question is going to be, which political party should form minority in parliament? Is it going to be Wiper? Is it going to be Azimio? Or is it going to be ODM? Because I remember at some point, Kalonzo Musyoka himself announced to the world that he was leaving Azimio. But if Kalonzo will have his way and his people now installed, because two individuals, for example, Junet Mohamed is the majority leader. Junet Mohamed is the minority leader. There is Robert Mbui, and then there is also Enoch Wambua in that order. So the question is, are their positions safe with these latest political developments in Kenya or within the coalition? So we'll have to wait to see how that's going to happen. And importantly, why do you think these changes only targeted Junet Mohamed? And why Karoli? Because when Tuju was removed, Karoli was made the SG. Now Junet is being removed, Karoli is being made the whip. Why? We all know that Karoli has already made his mind that is not going to defend his seat in ODM party. And as a matter of fact, Karoli made decisions long time ago, even before Raila Odinga passed on, that his and ODM were done. In fact, Karoli was the first MP to start working with President Ruto. He only stopped the moment John Mbadi was appointed to the cabinet, because you know the relationship between Karoli and Mbadi. It's like that of Boni Alwele and Raila. Boni Alwele was never with Raila in the same coalition. That's why when Raila Odinga joined the government, he left. So the truth of the matter is that Junet is being targeted, probably because Uru is keen, on ensuring that William Ruto is actually sent home. And importantly, and now this is between you and me, let us just ask ourselves this question. Is Azimio coalition still relevant, politically speaking, in the current political dispensation in the Republic of Kenya? Is Azimio coalition still relevant? We have Azimio, we have the United Opposition, we have Kenya Kwanza, we have broad-based government. Is Azimio still relevant? And why is Kalonzo Musyoka even wasting his time with Azimio? Because if I were Kalonzo, the best thing I would have done would be to focus on creating structures for Wiper. Because the only way Kalonzo Musyoka can become the president is if he will be able to do a few things. The first thing is to have a national outlook. That's very important for him. Apart from creating that national outlook, Kalonzo should be able to have his party with grassroots structures all over the country. As we speak, if you are to go to my constituency, home village constituency of Nyakach, and you ask for the Wiper chairman, you will not find. Or at least people will not tell you who you are Wiper. So that's the first thing Kalonzo should do. National image, then create structures, then figure out the best winning formation. And use a lot of his energy in trying to figure out the best winning formation and how to craft it. And then look for money. 2027 campaign is not going to be a joke. It's actually going to be one of the most expensive presidential elections in the Republic, in the history of the Republic of Kenya. So you must go outside there, look for the vote. Sitting in an office, meeting with Wiper leaders, and then issuing a statement on behalf of Azimio is not helping his cause, if anything. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lima Quick. Bye-bye.